Morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. It is Monday morning, May the 9th. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk, where we get together 7 days a week in the morning. We chat about what's going on in the world of weather and hopefully getting your day started off on the right note. We always welcome you to share this if you think anybody on your Facebook, Twitter, YouTube groups will be interested in daily weather updates, especially as we get into hurricane season, because, of course, that's the big topic of discussion. And I can promise you, you're going to get absolute in-depth nerddom come hurricane. I mean, we do that every day, but you'll get that come hurricane season, but in a no-hype scenario. That I can promise you. The last thing that I ever do, the least thing I like, hype. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. All right. That said, top two things we are watching this morning. We are watching a bit of a break in the heat. That's not a bad thing, quite a welcome thing, frankly. We'll discuss temperatures across Central Florida, not just today, which you can see on the bottom of your screen, but also looking ahead at the next couple of days. And then, tropical trouble? I'm not saying anything's going to develop, but there may be a bit of a storm system or two that we have to watch. Yeah, it's no hype, but it is information. All right, let's start off with what's going on across Central Florida, shall we? There's a look from our West Studios tower cam, and we're looking toward downtown Orlando, a mix of clouds and sun, just gorgeous. A handful of clouds as we get your Monday morning started off. Certainly not expecting any big downpours or anything. Did have a little bit of light rainfall showing up on our first warning live Doppler radar earlier. You can see the sweep is nice and clean. The only showers that we're tracking at this hour are off the shoreline here in Brevard and Indian River counties. So that's okay. They'll stay there. We'll stay here, and we will enjoy our nice, quieter Monday morning. 72 degrees in the city. It is 73 degrees in Daytona Beach, 70 degrees in Palm Coast, 75 in Melbourne. And, of course, we will be scanning around your... oh, you know what? I need to change these backgrounds. I forgot to take those off. Stand by. Forgot to do that yesterday, so let me do that right now. You know, preparation, and then when you don't do everything when you get off shift. Yes, that was the Mother's Day background. Got to take that off. Okay. All right. So, looking ahead at our day, it's gorgeous. It's wonderfully sunny, but the temperatures noticeably lower. Yeah, look at that. 78 degrees, our 11 o'clock temperature. 82 degrees, our 1 o'clock temperature. We're going to hang in the mid-range of the 80s through the day. It's beautiful May weather. It's, to be honest with you, a little lower than average, which is not the worst thing in the world, right? Yeah, a little lower than average. I think we can all get on board with that sort of thing. Temperatures this morning, though, for all case and purpose, kind of right where they were this time yesterday, right where they've been these last couple of days. So not too bad. All right, so what's the big weather scenario? Not much different than what we saw yesterday. Nice, comfy air sneaking into the peninsula. And over the next couple of days, we're going to enjoy and benefit from that. High temperatures in the mid-range of the 80s. But look off to our east. I think it's funny because I do things differently probably than a lot of people in the meteorological community. And I wrote interesting low working across the Atlantic. I did that yesterday. And I am somewhat surprised that Kellyanne didn't tweak the verbiage. I'm okay with it, but it is kind of funny. Yeah, kind of funny. So anyway, there's an interesting little storm system. That, by the way, the same northeast storm system that we've talked about for a couple of months coming off the northeastern United States coastline. It's there, just kind of hanging out through Wednesday. And then looking ahead to Thursday, it starts to move into our area. And what we are going to notice is that as it gets closer to us, and its exact trajectory, of course, we don't know, but as it gets closer to us, it's going to bring up our rain chances, okay? So looking ahead at the next couple of days, rain chance nice and low today. Nice and low tomorrow, nice and low Wednesday, but Thursday into Friday, we are going to start to bring up those rain chances just a little bit. Now, in terms of temperatures, look at where we're at. Summertime and the living is easy, at least relatively speaking. High temperatures in the lower to mid 80s. It's absolutely beautiful. But don't get too married to that, because even though our temperatures are running a little bit in the lower than average range for now, that's not going to stay. By next week, and I said this yesterday on Coffee Talk, by next week, high temperatures into the mid-range of the 90s. Yeah. All right, so that said, let's look at some of the computer model data, because I do want to take a look at that storm system sitting off of the coastline. First, let's just set the stage and look at the satellite and radar, okay? If I can find said satellite and radar. My brain is absolutely not working today. All right, so there it is off of kind of the coast of the northeastern United States. It's exactly where we expected it to be. It was that storm system that for the last couple of months I said, come May, Mother's Day weekend, I put it on the long-range calendar. I said that there would be a storm system impacting the northeastern United States. Now, over the next couple of days, it's going to what we call retrograde, or start moving back in this direction. So let's just take a look at the raw. This is the raw GFS. Okay, so follow me. Top left corner, GFS, right? Initialized 6Z. That's the most recent run of the GFS. When is it valid? 6Z, Monday, May 9th. Okay, so that means that this is a look at 2 a.m. this morning. We'll just kind of put that into motion. What you're looking at, that's high pressure in the orange. That's low pressure in the blue and the green, okay? So it's kind of out there. And the thing that's interesting is that the models are saying that, it's going to be a closed low. As long as it's a cold core low, it's not tropical, okay? So I don't want you to think that I'm sitting here telling you like there's a tropical thing. There's something to track in the tropics, but not necessarily developing tropically. But nevertheless, it does have a closed off low. All right, let's follow through time and just kind of see what's in store. You can see that lowered pressure heading our direction. That is 2 p.m. on Thursday. And that's about when we've started putting in those rain chances. Yeah, that lowered pressure over top of us through Friday. Okay, that's Sunday morning. Still lower-ish pressure. Probably still dealing with some showers around. I know I haven't said good morning to anybody, and I do apologize. I need to get to that. All right, and then we kind of roll through time, Monday, Tuesday. Now, what's interesting is you see that the pressures are starting to lower over Florida. That's Monday and Tuesday, and kind of starting to watch something trying to be around. Not much, but the model's trying to chew on that fat. That's the floreaster. So the model's trying to figure out the floreaster. Not there yet, but they're picking up on some sort of lowering pressure, some vorticity, and that's around Tuesday the 17th. And if we just look at the long-range calendar, that, that kind of lines up, all right? When I say floreaster, it's this storm system here, the 16th and the 17th. It was the November 6th repeat. So anyway, that's the long-range calendar. We don't need to get too in-depth in that. But here's what I do know, is that while we do have a couple of systems kind of to watch, a reminder that we have seen a preseason storm named every year since 2015. There are just 23 days until hurricane season, okay? So it's a very interesting little feature there. It's a very interesting little feature, an interesting couple of features. And in addition to it just being, and I think it's so funny that we labeled it as an interesting low. But that little feature there, come Thursday and Friday, is going to raise our rain chances. It's also going to raise up wave action. Look at the breaking waves here at Daytona Beach, 3 to 5. It looks beautiful from our Tower Cam network shots. Today, a little higher than yesterday. Higher tomorrow. Higher Wednesday. Probably going to try and take the Weather Lab out that direction Wednesday. Yeah, so that is absolutely something that's just kind of starting to play into things, okay? Debbie says, guess what? My son's college professor for Intro to Oceanography is Dave Cocciarella. Is he still with WESH? He is still with WESH. He's in the sales department. I didn't know he was still teaching. He's one of the greatest meteorologists I've ever met. I am so sad that he's not practicing meteorology at WESH. But yes, he's still absolutely there. He's still absolutely there with us, and he's still as wonderful can be. But I'll tell you, he's a tough cookie. If he's your son's professor, your son's going to learn, and he's going to work. But it's a good thing. Yeah. David, good morning. All right, so I do apologize that I've missed so many people saying good morning. Let's see here. I'm just trying to skim through some of these comments. Looks like Nikki's going on a cruise. I want to go. Oh, I want to go on a cruise. Thomas, good morning to you. Anna, good morning. Nancy, Becca, Kenneth, John, good morning. Good morning, everybody. I apologize that I'm just kind of chiming in here, getting kind of caught up to date on things. The weather outside, though, at least is beautiful. I do want to point out, though, at least looking mid-May, mid to late May, temperatures across the Great Lakes may trend a little lower. But in our area, and this is no surprise, in our area, the temperatures are trending above average. Like I said, we may be in the mid-80s this week, but come next week, we're absolutely going to be going above average. You're going to learn today. Exactly. Carolyn says, most of my students in meteorology didn't get jobs in the field. Well, Dave, if you don't know Dave Cocciarella, and I don't know, Carolyn, if you do or not, he worked for a lot of years at another television station in town. And then came over, and I'm proud to say, I had a little part in bringing Dave over to WESH. And Dave did weather with us for a while. I don't know exactly how long. And then Dave moved into the sales department and is killing it out there. But I miss him in the weather department. But that's just me being selfish. But every time I see Dave, I am sure to let him know how much I appreciate him. And for those of you that may or may not know about meteorology, and we talked briefly about it, that AMS next to my name, that actually means something. That's something that I've earned. And Cocciarella, before I ever worked, even in Orlando, when I was a very green meteorologist down in Palm Beach, Dave Cocciarella, whom I respected and looked up to from afar, Dave was a brilliant mind. Dave was a brilliant mind who was willing to some extent, take me under his wing and kind of work with me on things. So, you know, I have nothing but respect and love for the guy. Seriously. All right. A lot of you have been mentioning I'm enjoying the way it feels this morning. I'm enjoying the lowered humidities. Yeah. Front moved through over the weekend. If you recall, Saturday morning, we had a couple of tornado warnings. We had some nasty thunderstorms move through. We said it was going to dry out the atmosphere a little bit. It wasn't going to make us cooler per se, but it was going to pop the heat bubble a little bit, and that's what it has done. It's dropped those dew point temperatures down into the lower to mid 60s, even upper 50. Let's look at the dews right now while we're talking. Okay, so no 50s in our area. I know I saw some, but it was up north. Okay, so dew point temperatures in the low to mid 60s in our area, which of course on the muggy meter puts us in pleasant condition. Yeah, I mean, I'll take it. But of course we know that is coming to an end eventually. So if I didn't have to work, I would be going out to a theme park to play. Today, Epcot opens up in about 15 minutes, comfortable weather. It gets up to about 85. The gusts are going to stay up there, but, you know, it's still just beautiful. It's still just beautiful. High temperatures this week. Last week, we hit 96 in Orlando. We did set some records. This week, a very different story. Just look at Orlando. Today's high, 85. The average, 88. Look at Sanford. Daytona Beach, you're going to be in the 70s. I love it. Nikki says, have a great week, friends. Need to finish up a couple of chores and last bit of packing. Can I come with you, please? Saturday was rough in the yard putting mulch down this morning, and I'm loving every second of it. Very good, Robin. Good morning to you. Thank you for hanging with us. Sorry about that. Mary Lee, good morning. Diana, good morning to you. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah. I do also want to mention, not necessarily weather-related because it's so beautiful outside, But at Orlando International Airport, they are starting to report some departure delays running 15 to 30 minutes. Mary says, radio went off, turned on the TV, and you guys were showing my area. Way to go, Eric Burris. Oh, thank you, Mary. Yeah. Listen, if there's a tornado warning, if there's a severe thunderstorm warning, we call ourselves First Warning Weather for a reason. And that's more than just a brand. That's more than just it is truly our mission. It is the way we operate. I was at the station at like 1 or 1:30 on Saturday morning. Alex Alisi stayed until like 2 or 3. That's what we do. So we want to make sure you know that. We want to make sure you know that you can count on us, both on air and online. I was doing social media updates as well. That's the way we operate. Yeah. So anyway, if you're traveling this morning, just a heads up, there are a few flight delays, not weather related, but they said that there was staffing and a runway closure. Curious about the runway closure. We had that, Frank, because First Alert was already taken. We have First Alert. We changed it to First Warning because we don't want to be alerty. We kind of thought it through. Alert sounded a little hypey, and we absolutely are not efforting hype. So, yeah, so here we are at First Warning because we're giving you warning. We're not alert. That's kind of where we're at. All right. Great looking forecast this week, my friends. Great looking forecast. Anybody have any questions? I haven't looked at the BSR in a hot minute. Let's just look at that. I totally running off, not off script because we're never running on a script. Give me a moment. I haven't looked at the BSR in a minute. I'm curious as to if there's any indicators, oh, wrong button. That's the button I'm going for. Okay. All right. Curious if there's any indicators of anything. Give me just a few seconds here. I'm going to just shift it a little bit. That way we can kind of see around. All right. That first off, that's valid. So that's this weekend. That's late this week. A little area of low pressure out to our east. We know that. Moves out, high pressure builds in. That, to me, is that's the 30th. Yeah, what's so funny, that is the floreaster. You see a front and kind of a storm system developing off to our east. So that is the indicator of the floreaster. That would be a week from today. That is May the 16th. So that's lining up. Interesting, showing a front coming through. Not necessarily being a big front, but a front nonetheless. Little feature there, not anything major. Well, what are you? Storm system rolling out. That's the 21st, 22nd. That's an interesting little feature there. You see that in the Gulf? That's the 23rd, the 24th. That's interesting. A little feature, the 23rd and 24th out in the Gulf. And then what are you? That's around the 26th. So the end of May, we may be watching the Gulf as well for something. That's interesting. That's what I was looking for. I hadn't looked at this in a while. This, by the way, what you're looking at, the BSR, think of it as like a long-range indicator, a teleconnection of things. So that's just kind of interesting. Yeah. So interesting stuff. How are the kids? Kids are great. Thank you for asking. Yeah, the kids are great. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate it. How did I miss you on Friday? I was chatting with Alex till like 12:50 and I didn't see you. I'm trying to think. Maybe I did get in until at 1:30 because I know the tornado warning was issued on Saturday morning at 1. So I wouldn't have gotten into the office until like 1:30. Yeah. Kelly says your forecast was spot on here in New York this weekend. Miserable. I wish our local weather was more in tune with looking at long range. Well, thank you. Back to the old BSR. Well, just looking back, just trying to see it. Yeah. Yes, Susie, the Bering Strait rule, Bering Sea rule, that sort of thing. It's like a teleconnection. It gives us just an idea of what's coming. And it looks like the end of May, and that's not been outlined in my LRC forecast, but like late May, there are several indicators of some sort of storm systems out in the Gulf. So that'll be interesting to see if that plays out, if that ends up playing out. So, we've got plenty of time to watch that. And we'll just do that, right? I can promise that, but interesting stuff nonetheless. All right. So anyway, enough of that. Let's take a look at our 7-day forecast, shall we? And just get an idea of where we are headed this week. We, of course, know today is looking beautiful. We know tomorrow and Wednesday are looking beautiful. Notice, though, those rain chances, they are on the increase for your Thursday and your Friday, people. Right there. Rain chances on the increase because of that interesting little storm system coming in off the Atlantic. And then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to watch the temperature start to climb. But I'd be curious to see because come about early next week is when the Floreaster should be cycling. This is the weaker version of the Floreaster, okay? This is the weaker version of the Floreaster. If we look at the forecast, for the Floreaster, the November 6th part of the weather pattern. The mid-May one is there, but it's late July. We're operating on this new theory, this idea that every other cycle is stronger, okay? So in other words, for this, the Floreaster, the mid-May version, you'll see an indicator, but it's not going to be a major one. Late July would be when its major one happens. Whereas like the northeastern United States, we know that this one was its big one, which means that the early to mid-July one is going to be weaker, which means the early to mid-September one is probably, I need to add the little red dash there. But the early to mid-September is the time frame I think we'll have to watch the northeastern United States. All right, so that's kind of how it plays out in terms of our long-range forecast. It seems like every other cycle is stronger. But again, we've got Gary Lezak, the L of the LRC, which is our long-range forecasting. We've got Gary Lezak, who is going to join us at some point for Coffee Talk, and I very much do look forward to hearing his thoughts on the upcoming hurricane season, because he does have some. Have to try and get him this week. He does have some, yeah. Debbie says we could use some more rain in my house. You and me both. I got a ½ inch on Saturday morning, but not enough. Yeah. And if you're curious, as I know you are, the rainfall situation year to date does have most of us in a surplus. Daytona Beach is the only one in a deficit. But that said, remember, we got a lot of it early in the year. So when it comes to like the fire danger index for today, we are running in the moderate to high category across Central Florida. So something to keep in mind. All right. Dawn says, hoping for decent weather on Saturday. Family wants to go to Gatorland. We've never been. 50% off this month. Oh, that sounds fun. I'm a Central Floridian, born and raised, and I too have never been. Anna says, going to be crispy on Saturday. I'm going to Epcot. Oh, that sounds good. Can I go? Can my family go too? I want to go play. We got very little on, Susie says we got very little on Saturday. Yeah, we need rain in Daytona. Mary says we had 3 inches of rain over 3 days here in the Poconos. Well, yeah, absolutely. Bruce had just under an inch on Saturday. It helped. Look at you. That Oviedo bubble didn't protect you for once, huh? Who knew? That's cool. That's worth it, right? All right. Any questions, any comments, any concerns? This afternoon, we're going to be tracking the temperatures. We're going to be tracking the beautiful weather. And I'll tell you, this afternoon, another thing I'm really going to look forward to is sharing with you brand new model data. I'm curious to see what the models are going to be going with in terms of our rain chances. Now that we're starting to really initialize things, my mother says that she used to live on 209 talking about the Poconos. How funny. Yeah, so Thursday and Friday, those rain chances are going to be going up, but just how much? I'm curious to see this afternoon's model data, and I think that that's where the afternoon coffee talk is a real benefit because it gives us the chance to update the new model data, update these things, right? Becca, on the May forecast, I couldn't see how it will look on the 23rd and 24th. The storm picture was in the way. On the May forecast? Yeah, we're not highlighting anything on the 23rd and the 24th. Liking those 80s more than the 90s. Indeed. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Yeah. Alex says, Wild Florida is so much better. You get the Gatorland experience and more. Also same price with Florida residents. I've never been to either. I would love to go. I've been to Lion Country Safari a lot. That's super fun. That's super fun. All right. All right. So, enough. Huh? Enough. At least the temperatures are nice and comfy this morning. Oh, by the way, I failed to mention this. So while the temperatures are nice and comfy this morning, let me just show you Wednesday morning, okay? Because while it looks good now, Wednesday looks to be the lowest of temperatures in Central Florida this week and potentially for quite some time. Wednesday morning, 62 in Orlando, 60 in the Villages, 59 in Ocala. We're going to have 50s and 60s in mid-May. Yeah. So enjoy that while you can, people. Seriously. Not many more of those days to come. All right, I will see you guys and gals this afternoon. 3:30 the afternoon coffee talk. We're going to update the model data, zero in on what they're saying out in the tropics. Of course, keep you with no hype information. In the meantime, be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out. See you at 3:30. Be good. Have a great